Welcome to International Talks. Today we're going to talk about the Nord Stream 2, specifically why this project should be cancelled. There are two main reasons. First is because it is not only an economic project, and second, because Russia should be held responsible for its recent geopolitical affairs in Georgia and Ukraine. And the cancellation of the Nord Stream 2 should serve as somewhat of a punishment for the war in August of 2008 in Georgia, which took the lives of more than 800 people and tens of thousands were internally displaced, and annexation of Crimea and the war in the Donbas region, which took the lives of more than 13,000 people. So why it is not only an economic project? First of all, it should be lucrative and profitable for the Russian Federation itself. As we know, Russia shares the financial burden with the European energy companies from France, Austria, the Anglo-Dutch company, and the German companies, and finances the 50% of the 9.5 billion euros. However, this is not the final price tag of the project. As we know, Russia had to build a brand new branch to the Baltic Sea, and only this pipeline, which is 900 kilometers long, costs around 242 billion rubles, which is around $3 billion. As we know, there are alternative roads, mainly three alternative roads. First one lays through the Baltic states, Poland to German Greifswald. Second, through Belarus, Poland to German Kirnbaum, and the third through Belarus, Poland to Austrian Baumgarten. In case of the first alternative road, it costs 6 billion euros cheaper than the construction of the Nord Stream 2. In case of the second alternative road, it costs 7 billion euros cheaper than the construction of Nord Stream 2. And in case of the third alternative road, it costs around 10 billion euros cheaper than the construction of the Nord Stream 2. In case of the tariff differences, the first alternative road shows zero difference in comparison to the tariffs with the Nord Stream 2. The second alternative road goes with the same financial difference, and the third alternative road is even cheaper in comparison to the Nord Stream 2 tariffs. According to the Sberbank experts who were evaluating the Gazprom projects, they say that the Nord Stream 2 would cost more than $17 billion and it would not pay itself for 2 decades, and that the real beneficiaries of the project are the closest friends of the President Putin, mainly Arkady Rotenberg and Gennady Timchenko, who were granted the construction contracts. And of course, the experts were just fired after such report. Since Nord Stream 2 aims to provide the EU market with the natural gas, we should take into account the EU's long-term gas demand. By 2050, EU will reduce its carbon emissions by 80%, and we should guess that EU will decrease its gas demand as well. However, the amount of the gas demand varies according to the different studies, but we can say for sure that by 2040 and 2050, EU will reduce its gas demand sustainably and will use more of the renewable sources than the gas. And if the Russian Federation wanted to invest in a long term, they should have invested probably in education. However, the Russian Federation spends half of the amount of the average OECD countries on the primary and tertiary education. Germany will probably benefit the most out of this project, as its energy companies Wintershall and Uniper are lobbying the project because they are expecting to make billions of dollars out of it. And Germany will become a key energy hub in the European market, having access to 110 10 billion cubic meters of the natural gas. Since the April of 2018, after a meeting with the Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko, the German Chancellor has changed her mind and now thinks that the Nord Stream 2 is a political issue as well, and that the views of the Ukraine, Poland, and Baltic states who oppose the construction of the project should be considered. Before that, she thought that it was only an economic issue and that Germany welcomed the diversification. However, we can see that it is not a diversification because the source of the natural gas is still the Russian Federation. Her position also proves that Nord Stream 2 is not only an economic project, and also the reaction of the European Parliament, which called halt on Nord Stream 2 after the Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was arrested. There is also a security dimension to this project. In winter of 2005 and 2006, the first major gas crisis happened between the Ukraine and the Russian Federation, which resulted in Russia halting the gas transit for 1 day and accusing the Ukraine of gas stealing. However, no legal consequences are present. And as a result, there was no major disruption to the EU market. However, it caused a significant energy security concern within the EU. The gas crisis of 2009 caused a more serious damage and resulted in Russia halting transit via Ukraine for 13 days, which caused a major disruptions mostly to the southeastern European countries. As a result, it is unclear who to blame for the initial disruptions. However, both Russia and Ukraine have lost credibility as a transit country and gas provider. After these incidents, Russia started to look for the alternative routes to bypass the Ukraine and initiated the South Stream, which was eventually cancelled and replaced by the Turk Stream, and then initiated Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2. Ukraine, on its part, also started to buy natural gas from the European companies via, for example, reverse flows from Slovakia. As for EU, which is concerned with the energy security, we can clearly say that the Nord Stream 2 will not ensure the energy security of the European market. And the keys to the cancellation of the Nord Stream 2 are in Berlin's hands. Ironically, Germany could very easily replace the Russian natural gas. However, there is no political will for it. Second argument for the cancellation of the project is that Russia should be held responsible for its geopolitical affairs in Georgia and Ukraine. And the cancellation of the Nord Stream 2 will directly hit the pride of the Russian elites and the ratings of the President Vladimir Putin. We could say that every geopolitical success correlates to the popularity of Vladimir Putin. In September of 2008, his approval rating is record high. It was preceded by the Russian aggression against Georgia, which is considered a major success among the Russian elites. However, just recently, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Russia violated the human rights. In 2014, two major events preceded his high rating. First was the Olympic Games in Sochi, and the second and major event is the annexation of Crimea. In 2015, his rating is also very high. In late September, Russia started the operations in Syria. We can see that in 2018, the approval rating of Vladimir Putin decreases as the government of the Russian Federation has nothing to offer to its citizens on the international arena, and the pensions reform of the 2018 year seems to be very unpopular. In May 2020, the government's response to pandemic seems to cause yet another drop in the approval rating. Nord Stream 2 will probably be yet another increase or decrease of the popularity rating. However, the cancellation of the project is the least that international community can do in response to the Russia's geopolitical affairs. Last but not least, every country is responsible and should be responsible for its deeds, and the examples of another country will not vindicate anyone. I hope you liked the video. Share your thoughts on the subject. See you next time.